Hey all, good morning everyone. Thanks for joining. We're heading into a big Fed day today, and markets are holding pretty steady in the pre-market trading. Dow futures are up just a touch, but then they keep on fluctuating between slight negative and positive. S&P 500 is flat and Nasdaq is basically unchanged. That's typical before a big event. Investors are just waiting for the Fed rate decision this afternoon. The expectation is clear. We're almost certainly getting a 25 basis point cut, which would bring the Fed's fund rate down to 4, and the range is going to be 4 to 4.25%. That's already priced in. The real question is what Chair Powell is going to say about the path forward. Will we see more cuts through the rest of 2025, or is this just a single step? That's where markets could move. If Powell leans dovish, stocks might pop initially, but keep in mind, a lot of those gains have already been front-run, already been priced in. That's why some analysts are saying we could see a classic buy the rumor, sell the news move. And I think so personally too. Yesterday's little pullback in QQQ, especially in the big tech names, looked like some profit taking ahead of the event. Options market are also telling the story. Traders are buying protection, hedging for volatility around 2 p.m. when the decision hits, and especially at 2:30 during Powell's press conference, there could be a lot of volatility. So don't be surprised if we see sharp swings either way. Globally, the picture is cautious too. Europe is slightly higher, Asia finished lower, and energy stocks are in play with oil prices climbing again on supply disruption worries. Here in the US, retail sales came in stronger than expected, showing consumers are still spending. And if you look at credit card debt, students' delinquency, loan delinquency, and all those kind of things, they don't support this kind of a consumer confidence, but we still see consumer confidence. Those small businesses continues to face pressure. The big theme right now is valuation. Stocks, especially tech, are expensive. If the Fed signals gradual easing, traders may use any rally to rotate sectors or take profits. So what we saw yesterday in tech wasn't a bad signal, just risk management, I think. All right, with that context set, let's move into the charts and see what the technicals are telling us. I have taken the liberty to kind of reduce most of the lines that we have in many of these charts so that it's less complicated, and also we can see new patterns that we have been unable to see because of all the lines that we had put in the past. So I'm going to change that. I've already done that in some of the charts, as you will see, and we'll do that in the rest of the charts. So every morning when we do our analysis, we'll start with a clean slate and look at what we see in that given day. So let's start off with S&P 500 futures. And I still have retained this parallel channel because I think this parallel channel is very important because it has got many touch points, and it's a significant parallel channel. And it has been with us for a long time. I don't have to go through this again. I was just trying to look to see that the channel is perfect. It is perfect. So today we have support at around 6,569.75. And our resistance is likely to be topped at 6,701. Right now, we are at 6,661. That is down 10% in the futures market for S&P 500. You can see that the market sentiment is still bullish. MACD is still bullish. Momentum is above average. But yesterday, we saw a dip below the overbought territory that shows some amount of caution. So probably consolidation today until 2 o'clock and volatility around 2 o'clock. So that's what I'm thinking might happen, rather volatility right from now until 2:30 p.m. And after that, maybe around 3 o'clock, we'll start finding the right direction. And we still have Friday to account for. So we'll have much better understanding before the end of the week based on forward-looking statements and the dot plot from the Fed. Now, NASDAQ also is showing a drop of 0.13% in pre-market trading. We had a little bullishness in the market. MACD was absolutely wild. But yesterday, we saw the overbought conditions being bought down on the RSI for NASDAQ futures. And today, again, it's moving downwards. So volatility, potentially a gap fill. This huge gap up that was out there may probably get filled. Dollar index is down below the support levels that we had put for 97.27. This is quite significant. And this also could explain why the stocks are a bit elevated, because from a foreigner's point of view, they are getting the US stocks for cheap. So every euro that they put in or any other foreign currency that they put into the market, they're going to get more dollars. And so in foreign denomination, the stocks are looking cheaper than they do when you look at it in terms of US dollars as a native US currency holder. So that could be one way of looking at it. And if you look at the Canadian 5-year bonds, I keep on coming back to this because I'm looking at it from my selfish perspective, real estate in Canada. So it's gone down 0.37%. That's almost 1 percentage points. We are at 2.703, which is as low as we have been in the recent past, still moving towards 2.68. Today is a key decision day for even Bank of Canada. They are going to come out with a rate cut decision, and that could shape our mortgages out here. And likewise, we are looking at the 5-year in the US, which has also started dropping. It's dropped 0.20%. So all of these could have a very good impact on the overall market. It can prop up the real estate segment to a certain extent, and that can be beneficial for the overall market in the long run. With that said, let's go on to look at the indicators. And in the indicators, hi, good morning, thanks for joining us. In the indicators, we have S&P 500. As you can see, we have got all the lines removed from here, except for the parallel channel, which I have retained. And also these two lines, I'm going to replace them with a parallel channel. So let me take this out and let me just make this a little bigger for us to see. And I'm going to take the parallel channel tool from here. And I would like to put a parallel channel up here and pull it out to here. So this is our parallel channel. So today for us, the resistance is likely to be at 6,631.69, and support for today is going to be around 6,440, with a higher level of resistance out here, somewhere around 6,693 if we were to break out of this parallel channel. That's my outlook for today. And for NASDAQ, again, I'm going to look at a parallel channel tool out here, and I'm going to take it out here and bring it down here and then pull it forward. So we have a parallel channel that has got 2 touch points here and 2 touch points there. So it's not very weak, but it doesn't have enough touch points to become really strong. But I'm going to rely on this today for a resistance of 24,400 at the top and a support of around 23,247 at the bottom. And if we break above this parallel channel, then I think we'll have a resistance at around 25,038. That's the outlook for NASDAQ, in my opinion. And VIX is starting to pick up. It's up 0.86%. It's been going up steadily for the last 3 days, and today is the 4th day running when it's going up. So it shows that the market is starting to get concerned about volatility and all the risks that we have in front of us. Gold has gone down a little bit, and I'm still thinking that it's part of the bull flag expressing itself. And we had this bull flag and we broke out on the upside. So this could be a smaller bull flag happening out here on the move up, because the next resistance is going to be at around 3,769. So that's my feeling, because the market sentiment is still bullish. MACD is still bullish, and we were overbought on the RSI. So we are doing a little bit of cooling before we move up again, because in my opinion, I think gold is still looking pretty strong. We have broken out of this bullish pennant, which has a target for around 3,891.74. So that is my rationale. We can see what happens in the next 2 or 3 candles and then decide which way gold is going to go. QQQ did make a drop yesterday, and today again it's down 0.07% before market open. Yesterday it dropped 0.08%. These are all indications that the market is a little bit jittery, and it's going to be looking at what Chairman Powell is saying. So we'll wait for that. Overall market sentiment is bearish. MACD is bullish, but momentum is just hanging out very close to the overbought status. So it's consolidating. Now, put call ratio is, I think, quite bullish right now. It's at 0.76. I would say put call ratio is looking quite bullish. And let's go on to look at our AI stocks. NVDA is down 1.14% in pre-market trades. I've cleaned up the chart. I have removed a whole lot of lines that don't matter anymore. I'm removing a few more as we speak. And if you look at the overall situation out here, we still have a little bit of bearishness out here. And pre-market, we are already below our support of 173.73. So I'm going to mark that as a resistance, and I'm going to take out this other resistance line we have on the top. So we have a gap fill that we need to do, and our gap fill is likely to take us to 170.88. That is going to be my support level for today for NVIDIA. Overall, market sentiment is bearish. MACD is also bearish. Momentum is below average. So it's dropping down. And we had an earlier target of a double top, which brought us to 163.49. Probably we are going to be moving in that direction after the gap fill. Meta is down 0.29% in pre-market trades. We still have support at 736.79. Then we have Google, which is up 0.25. Google is on a tear because of all the positive news that they have had. They have also topped the Apple apps chart, and they have beaten ChatGPT in the Apple apps download section. So that's again another very big positive for Google. I had been very bullish on Google for a long time, but because of my fears about the fundamentals, I had sold out and taken profits. But at this point of time, a little bit afraid to enter into Google. So I'm going to watch what happens with the market after Powell's speech and the dot plots get released. And then I would probably try to enter into Google if I get an opportunity. Now, if you look at Amazon, Amazon is down 0.21%, but it's still riding this diagonal line of support. So for today, the support is going to be at 231.38. Right now, we are at 233.45. I would suggest that a resistance of 238.52 seems appropriate for Amazon. Next, we look at Apple, where we are down 0.01%. And Apple has done pretty well overall. It has managed to generate a lot of positive news, and it's saying that it's going to have, we have Tim Cook saying that he's satisfied that he has built a supply chain within the United States, which can be scaled up and so on. I don't know what the cost is going to be for products that come out of that supply chain. But those are all positive press reports, and I think that should help Apple to buck the trend in the market. And even if the whole market goes down, Apple may also go down, but not as much as the rest of the Mac 7. So I think that Apple has got itself a little bit of brownie points out there. And support for today is going to be 234.40, and resistance is likely to be in the range of $242 to $243. So that's what I am expecting for Apple. Microsoft is up 0.24%. Yesterday also we had started up, but we came down because this was a hard stop, 514.95. I think we'll have a psychological support of around $500. We have a gap down to take care of. And Microsoft this morning is up 0.24%. So I would say that 514.69 is going to be our resistance for today. Tesla is down 1.21% in pre-market trades, a little bit of gap up to be filled, and market sentiment is bullish, MACD is bullish, momentum is above average, but we are overbought on the RSI. So a little bit of consolidation, and also what Fed Chief Powell is going to say is going to have an impact on Tesla as well. So right now there's a little bit of profit taking that's happening, and we have Oracle, which is down 0.04%. And after having surged so much, I think it's time for a little bit of a breather. And I also see this as a bear flag. The bear flag already has 2 candles. We need a few more candles before we know that the flag is complete. And the chances of it breaking down is higher than the chances of it breaking up if it turns out to be a bear flag. Now we have AMD, which is down 1.60%, still struggling to break out above the resistance of 163.38. And breaking down below the support of 157.66 for today. So that's the range for us. We have potential double top target of 143.28, which is still not wiped out totally because of the hesitation that we see out here. SNCI is down 0.85% in pre-market trades. I'm going to knock out some of these lines that I have here, which I don't think we want, because they're all distractions for us and we won't be able to see the bigger picture. So this is the gap down, and this is the bear flag that I was looking at. And instead of breaking down completely and reaching its target, it has now started turning around and moving up. So right now we are having a bull flag which is being created out here, and the resistance for this is right now 47.31 and support is 42.82. So let us see where this goes, and based on that, we'll make our future calls. Right now, I don't know which direction it's going to move. Overall market sentiment, which was bearish, is continuing to improve. MACD is still very bullish, moving away from the signal line. Momentum is above average, but pre-market action shows that today is going to be negative. Broadcom is down 0.28%. This is a bullish pennant that is being formed. We have plenty of candles out here to give us an idea that the probability for this to break out is on the upside as compared to the downside. But again, we have this gap up which needs to be filled downwards. So that's that pressure that's acting on Broadcom. So it's the balance of those two. Let us see what happens as the day unfolds. But today seems to be a negative open based on pre-market action. Palantir is down 1.08%. This diagonal line of resistance seems to be stubborn, and it's going to be stopping us at 171.40 today. Pre-market, we are at 168.40. And I would say that our support for today is going to be 162.49. So I would like to go and pick up a horizontal trend line, and I would like to put it out here. And I would say that it's going to be, 160.38 is going to be our support for today. And I'm going to mark this line green. SMH is down 0.58%. It's going to be a little bit weak this morning, as the pre-market action says that we are down 0.58%. Overall, the bearish market sentiment had been improving and moving towards neutral. MACD was absolutely bullish, moving away from the signal line, and momentum was like a little bit flat, even though it was highly elevated, but just below overbought. The pre-market action suggests that the MACD is likely to move towards the signal line, and the market bullishness is kind of tempering down. So it's going to continue to remain in bearish for a little longer. So in this kind of a circumstances, I would say that we have a support at around 282.52. But if I wanted to draw a more useful support line, I would say that the useful support line happens to be somewhere around $302.28. Right now we're at 305.43. Tempest AI is moving down. It's down 0.125. It's a bull flag that is in formation, in my opinion. So the flagpole is still long enough for it to remain a bull flag. So we'll continue to watch this for the next few days, and we'll see where it is going. Overall market sentiment is bullish, and MACD is moving away from the signal line, and momentum still is above average with plenty of room on the RSI. And this is the second wave of AI, and it's a very interesting intersection. I have made a few videos on Tempest AI. There's a few more coming up in the future. So I'm still bullish on Tempest AI. I've already taken profits, and I'm sitting on the sidelines ready to move in. So I'm watching this closely. And if any of you have any pointers on Tempest AI, please put that in the comment section. That said, APLD is the next one I want to watch. It's down 1.54%. Are we witnessing a trend change? We'll watch that. And the next few candles should give us a pretty good idea of what is happening out here. Overall market sentiment is bullish. MACD is super bullish. Momentum is above average and above the charts. But the pre-market action kind of seems to give us an indication that we are about to cool off. And if we did cool off, I think our support will be 18.72. That said, I want to go and have a look at what's happening with Rigetti. Rigetti is down 1.25%. And I'm going to remove some of these lines out here, which are no longer relevant. And I would say that we have support for Rigetti at around 18.50 today. And with that, I would like to move on and have a look at genomics. And in genomics, Prime is up 4.28%. We had a bull flag out here, which broke out on the upside. It was very strong. It broke out way above the resistance that we had at 4.54. So 4.54 continues to be a support today. We could also have support at 4.67 as the market opens. So those of you who have Prime, I think you are looking at a march towards a target of 7.22. Of course, what happens with J Powell is going to have an impact on everything. So please keep that in the back of your mind. And remember, I'm a retail investor sharing my thoughts with you, with the hope that we'll build a retail investor community out here to crowdsource market wisdom, ideas, tips, and pointers so that we can all collectively become better retail investors. So please do your own due diligence. If you have a contrary opinion, don't hesitate to put it in the comment section. I'm open to all the opinions to become a better trader. Next, you look at Intelia, which is up 6.52%. The support at 12.28 is going to manifest itself and convert from resistance to support. So this is a very positive move because Cathie Wood had put in around $4 million earlier this month. And the market is starting to absorb that information, and we are getting a positive boost out here. The market interest has gone up. That is shown in the increase in momentum. And the market is showing some attention out here, plenty of room on the RSI upwards. The bearish sentiment has also corrected, but there is still a hesitation to become bullish. We are close to neutral. Let us see what happens when the market opens and we have some tradings take place today. Caribou Biosciences has no trades pre-market, and we had a bear flag out here, which did not proceed to go down in the fast fashion that we had expected. But we had to look at what is happening out here as probably the downward leg of the bear flag. Instead of being steep, it's probably being a little bit shallow. So we'll see what happens when we get more candles out here. You can see that in the past, yesterday, we tried to move up, but we are pushed down very firmly. There's a lot of selling pressure happening out here. And this line of resistance that we have out here still seems to be effective. And today it's at 1.85. Pre-market, we are at 1.80. So this is going to be the resistance for today. And the support for today is likely to be 1.78. Beam is up 0.74% in pre-market trades, moving very smartly. And I think this should be taken as a big positive. Market sentiment is bullish, and MACD is also bullish, moving away from the signal line. We are close to overbought, but plenty of room on the RSI still, because in the past we have been up a little bit more. And I don't know what is attributing to this positiveness. Let us go and have a look at the market news. So what we have here is Beam Therapeutics price target maintained with the $80 per share rating by HC Wainwright. And right now we are just at 22.91. So there is a lot of purchases. I think that's what is pushing us up out there. But remember, guys, with all genomic companies that do not have a monetized product in the market and a cash runway that could demand equity dilution or some other innovative fundraising approaches, we have to be careful. You're already seeing that in Ultragenics. You're seeing that in Precision. They already have some products out in the market. So be careful with Beam, I would say. And if there are any information that I don't know about, please put it in the comment section. Probably that could become a video to highlight to our entire community that something positive is happening underpinning that price. Autoimmune is up 0.11% as of yesterday, and again 0.28% today. And in my opinion, it seems to be above this support level of 3.35. That's going to be the support for today. Editas is down 0.35% in pre-market trades, and this diagonal line of resistance, which is at 2.77 for today, is going to be a support. And I'm going to mark this as green. I think I marked it green yesterday, but Yeah, it was red yesterday. We had this huge jump. So good. We are marking it green today. It's up 2.7. It's up about 2.75, which is the support for today. And I think the resistance for today is probably going to be somewhere around 3.08 and ultimately at around 3.20. Next, let's look at Illumina. Illumina is flat in pre-market trades. We have a reverse head and shoulder. It's increasingly looking like this reverse head and shoulder is going to be canceled. I'll take a call on it tomorrow. Right now, we have this diagonal line of resistance at 101.70. We are at 101.48 in pre-market trades. So I would dare to say that 101.70 is the resistance for us today. If we break out above that, then our next resistance is going to be 103.49. Next, look at CRISPR Therapeutics, which is up 0.23%. And we have this diagonal line of support, which is at 60.64. And that's going to be the support for today. Pre-market, we are at 61.33. We are also looking at canceling out this head and shoulder pattern now. And I've removed that altogether. So we have that support out there. Allergen is flat in pre-market trades. Grail is down 0.48% in pre-market trades. PACB is flat in pre-market trades. ARCG is up 0.11% in pre-market trades. And we have a resistance out here. I'm just going to draw a line of resistance. And this should be red. And this line of resistance happens to be at 26.64 for today. And we are at 26.58 this morning. If we break out from here, I would look at us to confirm about this, which means we should have a candle that closes above today's candle. And today's candle should end above 26.66. Vertex is up 0.38%, it is still consolidating a little bit, but to me, it seems that we are probably going to look at a double top, and I have to draw a target for the double top. Let us see what happens in today's candle. That will give us some idea where we are going. Ginkgo Bioworks is down 1.03% in pre-market trade. It's going to get support today at 9.78, and it's going to have a resistance today at around $11.27. And then I want to go to Precision. Precision happens to be above our line of support at 3.64. Now I'm going to mark this green. So 3.64 is going to be a support for today, and resistance for today should be at around 4.12. And let us look at Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly is down 1.32% after jumping 2.21% yesterday. I'm thinking Eli Lilly is still a strong candidate, and especially if the market goes down, Lilly is going to be a little bit more resilient in my opinion. And we have a support at around 740.37. That's the support level that we have. And in terms of resistance, I think 774.41 would be our resistance for today. And I want to look at Rocket Mortgage before we wind up. Rocket is up 0.43%. So I'm still looking at this as a bull flag. I'll give it a few more candles. The probability is to break out on the upside and meet our cup and handle target of 28.53. So Jay Powell's speech today could have an impact on Rocket Mortgage. We'll see what happens when the market opens. And friends, I want to go to the cryptos before we close. Bitcoin is down 0.41% today in pre-market action. And this is the bull flag, and we broke out on the upside. And I have to see a few more candles to decide what is happening. In my opinion, I think we have a resistance at 120.51 for today, and we have a support at around 115,443.64 today. So that's the support. Next, let us look at Solana. Solana had a big jump, and this is a bull flag in formation. And we are seeing a little bit of bottom support out here at around 233.61. And pre-market, we are at 234.58. So 233.61 is the support for today. And I'm looking at the prospect of this flag breaking out on the upside. And we can have a target for that once the breakout happens. Next, I want to look at XRP. So XRP is looking pretty decent. This is a bear candle in my opinion, but if I look at it from here, then it's a bull flag, and the bull flag is trying to break out on the upside. And for the bullish pennant, we already have a target of around 4.625. That is the bigger context we are looking at. And I'm anticipating a lot of smaller bull flags and breakouts and bull flags and breakouts on our way to the top. So I'm looking at XRP quite positively this morning. And I'm thinking the resistance for XRP is going to 3.12 and the support for XRP is going to be 2.99. Right now we're at 3.01. So friends, that brings me to an end of today's commentary. And if you guys have anything that you want to contribute to the community, I'd look forward to that. Or else I'd like to wind up the session. If you have any ticker symbols that you want me to talk about, that would be great. So Hot Dog is saying if ETH doesn't move, altcoins won't move. Yes, I agree on that because ETH and the altcoins move together. And I think Bitcoin still has a little bit of correlation, a good deal of correlation with the stock index. And if the stock index go for buy the rumor, sell the news, I think we'll see a little bit of dip in Bitcoin before it consolidates and starts moving upwards. That's my feeling. And that is because I think that there's a finite amount of Bitcoins. So therefore, and also Bitcoin sitting in treasury in many companies could lend itself to Bitcoin becoming a store of value and run away from risk. So we haven't seen the proof yet, but logic dictates that that's what is likely to happen. So if that happens, then that can give a little bit of support to the altcoins and especially to XRP. So that's my calculation. And let us look at Ethereum before I wind up. So I think Hot Dog has a point. Let us look at Ethereum and see what Ethereum is telling us. So Ethereum is telling us that we will have a support today of around 4,397.79. And we have a head and shoulder pattern in Ethereum. So that's not a good sign. This is a shoulder. This is a head. And this is another shoulder. So if you look at a head and shoulder pattern, it doesn't look that good. And if it breaks down, it could be a significant breakdown. So yeah, we have to be cautious with the altcoins. Okay, guys, then I'm done for the day and I'll catch up with you again in the next one. Bye.